Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the final installation of our Coffee with the Community for the 2024-2025 school year. Great to be with you on this Thursday morning. I'm Dr. Jeremy Tucker, Superintendent of Schools for Liberty Public Schools in my 11th year. And it's hard to believe that we're already in the month of April, getting ready to wrap up this school year, as well as plan for the start of the 25-26 school year here in August. So we have a lot of great activities going on as far as spring activities, spring sports, fine arts programming, along with a lot of celebrations throughout our community, leading us up to graduation here in just a few weeks on Mother's Day as we celebrate moms, families, but certainly our seniors from both Liberty High School and Liberty North High School as they move on to their next journey in life. So we look forward to a variety of celebrations in the weeks to come. I wanted to kick off this morning with where we began back in August as we welcomed our staff and our students and families back to our district for school, and the first day with the statement, "What you do matters." We've carried this theme forward throughout the course of this year, and it can be applied in a lot of different ways. For our staff and our teachers, it applies to the work that they do day in and day out on behalf of our nearly 12,000 students. So we applaud them for their work, their persistence, coming alongside students in the classroom, on the stage, or on the field for what has certainly been a great school year. It can also be applied to the work that we do in the various hats that we wear, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, a boss, a fellow employee, a colleague, whatever hat you can think of that you have, what you do matters. And we want to conclude this school year with that same phrase because it has a lot to do with well-being, with mental health that we know is so important as we care for our students and as we care for one another. To dive into some information regarding our school district, earlier this month, elections were held across Missouri. And in Liberty Public Schools, we did not have to have an election because our two incumbents, Mrs. Karen Rogers and Dan Currents, signed up again to run, and they were unopposed. And so we welcomed them back earlier this week as they were sworn into their respective membership roles in our Liberty Public Schools Board of Education. In addition, we reorganized our board with the election of a president and vice president. So in service to our entire community, our board president, as we move forward, as we wrap up this year and into next year, will be Karen Rogers. Mrs. Angie Reed, sliding into the position as vice president. We appreciate her service over the last several years as our board president. In addition, Mr. Nick Bartlow, board member, A.J. Bird, board member, Drew Marriott, board member, Mr. Dan Currents, board member, and then Ms. Jen Bauer as well, serving in our service to the Board of Education. Information that we always enjoy sharing is kind of the composition of our district and our community. You've seen these visuals perhaps at different presentations over the years, and it really is a good representation of who we are in Liberty Public Schools, from the history that we have dating back to the early 1800s, actually, in our town square, to the recent inclusion of industry and advanced manufacturing, as you can see by the robotics and some of the companies that work closely here in Liberty, to banks and other partners opening up their doors to host our students and internship experience and client-connected projects. All the various activities that we have, whether it's fine arts, whether it's athletics, across our pre-K through grade 12 continuum. Partnership in higher education, like William Jewell College, as well as everything that the metropolitan area has to offer. This is all in service to our nearly 12,064 students in grades K through 12, coupled with 274 students in pre-K. Additional information that we continue to monitor over the course of the year is specifically our enrollment, and you can see this information broken down by school level as well as by grade level. Starting off with our early childhood learners, as you can see at the Early Childhood Center, and then looking at our kindergartners through grades 12, encompassing, as of April 8th, 2025, around 12,094 students. One of the things that we want to draw your attention to is birth rates across the United States that certainly are impacting school districts. As birth rates have declined, you'll notice by our enrollment projections and our student enrollment that we have smaller kindergarten classes as compared to our senior classes. So for example, here in just a few weeks, We'll graduate approximately 974 seniors from Liberty High School, Liberty North High School, and Liberty Academy. And then as you work your way down from the 12th grade all the way to the kindergarten level, you'll notice that classes and the size actually start to wane a little bit. As they drop below 1,000 as you get into 8th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade. And then fast forward to the kindergarten level where you have an incoming class as of this year of 686 students. We're going to continue to monitor that as that impacts our schools, as it impacts staffing, our facility needs as we move forward, knowing that families also transition into our system at various points along the way. Perhaps as they exit elementary, entering to middle school, or exit middle school, entering into high school. So growth rates as it relates to birth, early childhood center, and our younger grades are certainly something that we will watch as we move forward. A little bit of information about our district as well. If you've not seen this, it's from our Fast Facts, or District Information at a Glance. We serve 1 early childhood center, 11 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 2 high schools, and our alternative school, as you saw earlier. You can see transportation information as it relates to our square miles, the number of routes that we run, how many students are transported daily, and then our average miles that we travel annually, exceeding over 1 million miles. We're so incredibly grateful to our transportation department and our team that gets our students to and from school safely in the mornings and the afternoons and on a variety of activity trips. Our students come from a variety of places within our district footprint. 56% come from Kansas City, 42% from Liberty, 1% Kearney, and then you can see there's some smaller communities that account for a little bit of our student population as they arrive to us each and every day. To tell you a little bit about our team, our employees, our staff, we have just over 2,000 staff members, of which about half fall into certificated categories and half fall into classified categories. In regards to our teacher experience and their education, 84% of our teachers have 6 or more years of classroom experience, and approximately 87% of our teachers hold a master's degree or higher. Certainly a testament to their lifelong learning and continuing to grow in service to kids. The average teacher salary due to that experience and that degree attainment sits currently at $68,900 annually. One of my favorite slides is our student demographics and our composition. You can see our breakdown by ethnicity in terms of that demographic makeup of our student population, largely Caucasian, with Hispanic population, multiracial, black or Asian continuing to grow, with over 57 different languages represented in Liberty Public Schools. As it relates to nutrition services, we serve approximately over 1,141,494 lunches annually. In terms of daily, that accounts to just over 6,000 lunches served daily, 2,783 free and reduced lunch students with an overall free and reduced lunch student rate of 22%. As it relates to our graduation rate, about 95.3% of our students go on to successfully graduate each year. The remaining population is either extended in their learning through the age of 21 because of special education support, others that then transfer or end up elsewhere in terms of their pursuits. 73% of our graduates attend a 2-year or 4-year college, and so we're still very college-driven, with many others entering into the armed services, going straight into the world of work, pursuing missions service in various countries and states across our country. As it relates to our district's budget, our overall budget is just under $280 million. Much of that is tied up in our most recent bond issue, and we appreciate the support from our community back in 2023 for that bond issue. Our operating budget then accounts for $195 million, with our revenue sources coming from local property taxes, state revenue, also federal revenue, and you can see the percentage breakdown. We are very highly funded through our local property taxes to the tune of about 60%, followed by 37% from the state level, with a very small percentage, just over 3%, coming to us from the U.S. Department of Education in federal revenues. Our average annual cost per student then is just under $15,000 per student, right at $14,858. We also want to highlight a lot of the real-world learning opportunities that we have for our students across our district. Hopefully by now you have heard of some of these experiences, often referred to as market value assets. Once students get into high school, they include opportunities like internships, dual credit experience, and access to college credit while you're in high school, client-connected projects in partnership with business and community, around pursuits and areas that students are interested in following or going into beyond high school, along with industry-recognized credentials and entrepreneurial experiences. Those are the elements that make up a market value asset, with the idea being that a high school student graduates with not just their diploma in hand, but those +1 experiences or market value assets that then set them apart from students that they're competing against, whether it's entering into college as they submit a college application, whether it's at a job interview, or it's a conversation regarding enlisting in the armed services. We want our students to have those experiences or market value assets. In building up to that, we incorporate those skills and dispositions that are needed for success in life, in elementary and in middle school, so that once our students are involved in the world of work or those real-world learning experiences, they can interact with adults. They can interact with experts as they learn from them and are mentored by them. We'd encourage you to check out this information on our district's website to be able to kind of see what those experiences are afforded to our students in high school, but then also as your kiddos, if they're younger, can start thinking about as they think about the world of work and pursuing college beyond Liberty Public Schools. We also want to take a moment to express appreciation to our cabinet leaders who really help us in all their respective departments. Ms. Cindy Sullivan, our Chief Finance Officer, Mr. Steve Anderson, our Chief Operations Officer, Dr. Sarah Marriott, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. Julie Moore, Assistant Superintendent of Innovation and Learning, and Dr. Andrea Dixon-Seahorn, Assistant Superintendent of Student Equity and Access. Their work and oversight of their respective areas is what helps us keep things running smoothly each and every day here in Liberty Public Schools. Shifting then to our vivid vision. Many organizations over the years have focused on vision, mission statements, values, and we wanted to do something a little bit differently a few years ago, so we undertook a different approach to strategic planning and identified a vivid vision and began working on telling our story and what it will look like to live, to learn, and to work across Liberty Public Schools if we accomplish everything we set forth in our strategic plan. Focused on these 5 areas: the science of learning, the art of teaching, the heart of leadership, the spirit of professional development, and then the foundation of our community. I would encourage you to check out our vivid vision on our LPS website. It's accessible, but it truly is a narrative that tells the story that then leads us into our strategic plan focus, which begins with our graduate profile. Several years ago, we solicited input from across our community. It included our staff, our families, as well as our business partners, higher education input, along what those skills and dispositions are that students need to be successful while they're in school, but then also throughout life. The 5 categories that we identified include academic skills and dispositions, cultural, personal, professional, and entrepreneurial. You can see each of those defined, as well as those specific skills listed underneath or according to the wheel in those respective categories. Those are the areas that we heard from our community that are important in your world of work, in your jobs, in your degree attainment, in higher education, or in service through public involvement. And so we want to incorporate those into the content areas that we teach, the learning that occurs in our classrooms, the application of learning as students engage with their community, so that our students are attaining these skills along the way, but then that they can also take with them throughout life. We've taken it a step further over these last couple years and created a series of learning progressions that identify what each of those skills and dispositions look like, whether you're an early childhood learner, an elementary school student, in the middle school, or in high school getting ready to graduate. We have that scaffolded throughout our system. So we appreciate the work of our leadership, along with our staff, our teachers, in being able to put this into action. It really encompasses both the content standards and the academic pieces that we know are so important for success in life, with those employability or durable skills that students will be able to apply across their lifespan. Within our strategic plan, we focus on the areas of learning, teaching, leadership, personal growth, and community. You can see each of the sub-actions that are incorporated underneath these categories. Each year, our leadership team works to be able to effectuate these plans. And here, coming up in the next several weeks, we're going to be going back to the drawing board, identifying those things that we've accomplished over the course of this particular year, celebrating those accomplishments, but then also identifying what carries forward into the 25-26 school year. Perhaps what do we set aside that may no longer be relevant, or what do we further incorporate? So we'll be working on that over the course of May and into the summer, with an intent to bring back a refreshed, revised strategic plan for our board's consideration as we return together in the fall semester. I want to shift a little bit beyond the work that we do here in Liberty Public Schools and focus on a couple of collaborations that we have in place, both across the Kansas City area, but then also in partnership with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. You might have heard of the Success Ready Students Network, but it was about 2 years ago where Liberty Public Schools and about 19 other districts approached the State Board of Education with the intent of reimagining or re-envisioning what student assessment and accountability looks like. You may recall when you were in school, those end-of-year assessments, they're still around at the elementary level and at the high school level, which was really just a singular snapshot at the end of the year as far as how a student was doing. Well, we have since learned that there are a lot of other ways to effectively interact and engage students in their learning, as well as assess their learning and how they're growing over the course of a year. So what the Success Ready Students Network has created is a different approach to accountability as well as assessment. Rather than solely relying on that end-of-year high-stakes standardized assessment, our shift has been to focus on interim assessments or through-year assessments that more effectively gauge a student's growth from when we get them in August to when they leave us in May. And so we've advocated for that work so much as to receive an innovation waiver from the State Board of Education, in which they enthusiastically supported this work. And so we've partnered with those original 20 districts. We went back to them with another innovation waiver request to include or incorporate an additional 20 districts. And we're just continuing to grow the effort. And so we're excited this spring to be able to pursue the submission of what's referred to as an Innovative Assessment Demonstration Authority Waiver request to the U.S. Department of Education, and look forward to completing that process here in the coming weeks. What you see here is a dashboard that reflects our work, from our vivid vision and our graduate profile to videos to narrative that better tells our story as to what we believe matters in our community when it comes to student success and learning, looking beyond that standardized assessment at the end of the year to incorporate measures like growth, academic readiness, as well as how you combine the two and are able to approach assessment throughout the course of the year to be able to gauge a student's growth. This sits on our district's website. Would encourage you to check out our dashboard where you can see how our students are doing at each and every single building, as well as be able to look at our data tied to real-world learning experiences and our goal that every single high school student will have a market value asset. I want to shift then to next piece, which is to thank our community as it relates to our 2023 bond issue. You may recall we put forward to our taxpayers a request that they consider no tax increase levy transfer and a $100 million no tax increase bond issue, $120 million no tax increase bond issue. We want to thank our community, and we want to provide a bit of an update as to how things are going here in the month of April as we wrap up the school year. You may recall we started with a lot of concepts and the work that needed to be done at a variety of our campuses, and began putting together various renderings of what that might look like, from our classrooms to additions at various locations to improvements that really sit behind the scene, whether it's LED lighting, HVAC repairs, restroom renovations, just a variety of work that was conceived of in partnership with our community and our Board of Education in prioritizing what those facility needs would be to encompass that $120 million bond issue. And we're excited to share that over the course of this year, several of those projects are coming to fruition. And now that they're completed, they're in utilization, they're incredible spaces as we put some in play, so to speak, as well as begin to continue those next phases and those next projects. And so our high school's benefiting from turf field for baseball, for softball seasons as it relates to this school year, both at Liberty High School and Liberty North. Tennis courts at Liberty Public Schools, which I know they appreciate not having to travel as much and use some of our city parks. Those are actually in use this spring as Liberty High School Blue Jays are taking on their competition. Across our district, improvements in a variety of locations. At Alexander Donovan, improvements to the nurses' location as well as the administrative office, in ensuring that we have secure and safe entrances and corridors across every single one of our buildings. Discovery Middle School, gymnasium and theater combination, which is coming together. We look forward to opening up those spaces in the not too distant future and really approaching it differently as we think about multi-purpose space that is an excellent space for fine arts performances, but at the same time certainly to be used for a variety of athletic competitions. Similarly, at South Valley Middle School, we have two projects that mirror one another, the Discovery Gym and Theater along with the South Valley Middle School Gym and Theater, that also accounts for the space needed for the school day as it relates to physical education. Distribution Center, if you've been down 291, you've likely seen this building coming out of the ground, nearing completion. And so we look forward to having a logistics center that then can service all of our campuses, whether it's the supplies that they might need on a regular basis, or perhaps the nutrition and the food that services our students across our system for breakfast and lunch. We appreciate the opportunity to have a centralized location rather than sending our team and our staff across the Kansas City region to get various supplies and goods to then bring back to our schools. The District Technology Center is up and running. They used to be located at the District Administration Center, and then we purchased the old Mid-Continent Public Library in Liberty. Had a little bit of work to do to be able to renovate that space, but it's also referred to as Building 53. Not only does it hold our technology department now, but it also holds a couple of other support staff departments, including Kids Zone, including our Fine Arts department. So I know that those teams appreciate that new space. Epic Elementary, as you'll recall, was opened 10 years ago at our previous District Administration Center, and for the longest time had their PE classes, their art classes, their music classes, and breakfast and lunch all served out of the same space. We called it a gymna cafetorium, as we joked. But we are super excited to open this spring a new gym, a new art room, as well as a new music stage that then can be used by those students. It's been a long time coming, but it is truly a phenomenal space. In fact, we have a video that we would like to show you as it relates to this space opening up and an image of our students entering in and enjoying this space for the very first time.
Multi-purpose room is truly that. We had Kids Zone in there, lunch for all grade levels. We had art and music and PE. We would try to fit assemblies in there, guest speakers, any small groups. So it truly was a multi-purpose space.
We start first thing in the morning, Kids Zone. Then that goes through breakfast. We turn it around after breakfast into either music and art or PE, depending on the day. Come back in around 10:15. Put the tables down for lunch, then we tear all those tables down, put the tables back up for art and music, or get them out of the way like Coach has in here for PE. And then Kids Zone's right back in here till 6 o'clock.
You know, I have instruments not only in here, but I have them in cabinets down there, and I have to bring them back and forth all the time. Our space will be ours, and we won't have to turn it over every day. It's just going to be so nice for them.
It's going to be such a game changer for us here at Epic. I mean, not just us as staff members, but the kids are just so excited.
They have been freaking out, so we were able to give them a sneak peek, and the reactions were priceless. One kid said it was absolutely perfect. He gave it a 10 out of 5 stars. We would have been able to have a lot of creativity in the multi-purpose room, but now having spaces where each teacher can do their own thing and have a lot more ability to branch out and have the materials they need, the space they need. I think our creativity is going to really shine, and now having this, I think it really is going to open up what we're able to do. I'm just really excited for the kids to be able to have a true gymnasium and do all of the things in the sports and the games that we should be able to do that we weren't able to in a multi-purpose room. The lunchroom can truly be a lunchroom and a music room where it's absolutely a music room and not chicken nuggets and ketchup on the floor. Also an art room where she has sinks and the ability to do incredible projects and clay and things instead of being on cafeteria tables and having kids carry paintbrushes through the school. So thank you to everyone who was able to vote for this and get us this space. It's a long time coming, and our community, especially the kids, are incredibly excited.
What a great reaction from our Epic Elementary students as they were able to enter in and see the space for the first time and put it to use. Again, we appreciate our community for their overwhelming support of our bond issue and the opportunity to provide such great facilities for our young people. At Franklin Elementary, a variety of improvements over the course of the last several years to bring one of our oldest campuses up to expectation. And so recently we've incorporated safe and secure entrances into our office space. We've improved our nurse's office as well as restroom renovations, which were long overdue, to be able to help Franklin Elementary really provide a new and inviting space for all of our students and families. At Liberty High School, some renovation at one of our wings that house family and consumer sciences as well as our special education department. We had an opportunity to visit them the other day in an open house and really enjoyed seeing our teachers as well as seeing this great space that our high school students are taking advantage of, as well as some improvements to some of our art rooms that are located within that particular wing. We do have more work to come at Liberty High School as we begin to take on the main entrance and the cafeteria, the kitchen space, as far as that whole midsection, which is really the backbone of Liberty High School. So we'll begin working on that here in the coming weeks as we begin to prepare for the 25-26 return of our students and staff. At Liberty Academy, as you know, much of their work is hands-on and project-based. And if you've ever visited, you know that they have projects going on in just about every single space of that campus. And so we thought it would be important to incorporate a do-it-yourself space or a shop that's currently being constructed adjacent to Liberty Academy, as well as an outdoor court for students to be able to enjoy as part of their physical education courses. And so we appreciate and look forward to that opportunity to open that space as well. At Ridgeview Elementary, the safe and secure entrance entering into the building, improved office spaces as well as the nurses station, restroom renovations as we've mentioned in many of our campuses, just to be able to provide a little bit of some upkeep as well as improvement to the aesthetics across Ridgeview Elementary. Heritage Middle School as well had a lot of work done. We have multiple phases that are taking place across those campuses, across that building and its phases over the years. We do have a video as Dr. Allegri is able to share improvements and renovations that happened to another one of our older campuses here at Heritage Middle School.
The proud principal here at Heritage Middle School. We have just now completed phase 1 of our construction here at Heritage, and I would love to take you around and show you our new and improved spaces. Okay, so we are here in the Commons. This is not a new space, it's just renovated. We had this before, but what we have done is completely renovated the space, brought it up to date with 2 stacked learning areas. These will fit around 40 to 50 students and staff members so they can come together, collaborate, learn together, and it's just really great to see it all be brand new and fresh for our students and families.
So I've been here for 25 years. So just seeing this transition from where it used to be in my first 24 years to where it is now has just been a remarkable. There seems to be just not only the brightness of the building, but the space is completely used in a different way. And then just the way in which the students are able to interact and collaborate has been huge over the last couple weeks here.
Welcome to 501. This is our maker space here at Heritage. It sits with a beautiful view of the Commons. We can fit around 50 students in here where they can come in and just create and make new things for a ton of different classes. And this space has already been used, which is wonderful to see. We are now upstairs in the 500s. Our section looks just the same up here as it does downstairs in the 400s, but what we've been able to do is create some separate locations for our 7th graders and 8th graders to be able to get into their classes and be able to move around the building a little bit easier and not all in the same space.
We just finished the 100-year celebration here at Heritage, and it just was very meaningful to me to see that Liberty is wanting to invest in the older buildings.
We are so incredibly fortunate that our community approved this bond back in April of 2023, and because of that, we are done with Phase 1 here in our 1964 building. We cannot wait to start Phase 2, which will go into effect in May, June of this summer.
There's a lot of great things happening here in Heritage, and it's a beautiful building inside and out.
Thank you again to our community for making some really big dreams come true here at Heritage.
We again want to thank Dr. Allegri and Mr. Hickey for opening up Heritage Middle School to share the renovations that have happened there. We do have more work to come as we continue along their main entrance and some improvements that are due over the coming months at Heritage Middle School. Again, we want to thank our entire community for their support of our 2023 no tax increase bond issue. And I want to wrap up with this. As we conclude the 24-25 school year, thank you to our communications team for putting on this series of our Coffee with the Community over the years. We've had about 8 every single year, and we've done this since around 2011, we think, 2010. And you can see the number of times we've engaged our community on a variety of topics to not only keep you informed, but to thank you for your ongoing support of Liberty Public Schools. To end with where we began, what you do matters. Keep that in mind, whether you're a district student, a staff, an employee, or a parent, a grandparent, or a community member. And all the varying hats that you wear. We wish you the very best as we wrap up this school year. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another.